Hi, this is Michael Carbajal, and you're watching True School Sports. Take care. Good night.
Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers now. You know, it's Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn fight week, and you guys just knew it wasn't going to come without no drama. Obviously, we know Chris Eubank, he's been trolling Conor Benn, talking about he only needs to be 60% to beat him because he has to make that sharp weight cut, and that'll be good enough to beat Conor Benn. And he's been eating KFC, and he's been eating kebabs and cakes and ice creams and all kinds of stuff, and he's been putting it out there on social media for everybody to see. But now his father, the great Chris Eubank Sr., he's came out and he hasn't really did a whole lot of talking about the fight, but we've only heard things through Junior about what Senior thinks about the fight. And now Senior has come out now on fight week, and he's asking the public and the fans to boycott the fight because, you know, his son has to be at a weight that he hasn't been at since he was a teenager. I believe the catch weight is 157. Chris Eubank's a guy that's campaigned as high as 168. So, you know, when you're making those sharp weight cuts all the way down there, you know, you lose that fluid around your brain, and then your punch resistance can go down, and then, you know, you're putting yourself at risk for injuries if the weight cut is too much. And, you know, we don't know until this week, but most people believe that the weight cut's gonna be too much for Eubank. But we'll see come Friday during the weigh-in. But yeah, his dad doesn't want nobody to buy the fight. He's saying that, you know, this is how injuries happen. This is how you know, you can get into fighters having problems and fighters, you know, lives being at risk. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. I just wish he would have, if he was gonna do this, he should have did it earlier. I don't know why he waited till fight week to do it now, but it is kind of unfortunate because, you know, this is a unique moment in boxing history where, you know, the fathers who put on two great fights back in the day now have their sons fighting each other. You know, this is never happened before in boxing. At least I can't think of a time, and I know my boxing pretty good, but if you guys can think of a time when there was like a great, you know, two fight, you know, rivalry between fighters, and then 25, 30 years later their sons were gonna fight, let me know in the comments, because I don't think it's happened in boxing history. But like I kind of wish that, you know, he was on board, but I understand where he's coming from. He's concerned about his son. He did say, I think the one time he did comment on this before, he did say that, like, you know, he's already lost one of his sons because one of his sons had passed away to something that had nothing to do with boxing. Now he's concerned about his son because, yeah, you know, the body can only take so much. The body can only take so much to when, you know, if you're a fighter like Eubank, I mean, he's campaigned at 168, which means he walks around higher than that. You know, he probably walks around like 180, 190, and he's been campaigning at 160 for like the last maybe 2-3 years. But now, you know, you ask a fighter to make that weight cut from 160 to 157, he's fought as high as 68. Now you're asking a lot because, you know, ask any fighter, ask any fighter what 2 or 3 pounds will do to them. They'll always tell you, you know, if they're struggling to make the weight, they'll always tell you that last 2 pounds, that pound and a half, that last pound, that's the hardest pound to get off. And sometimes you got fighters that will sit in the sauna for 45 minutes. They'll run miles and miles and miles, and they just can't get it off. So we'll see if his dad's claims, if there's any validity to his claims. Like, personally, like, I do think Eubank is gonna have some problems making the weight, because like if you just look at his frame and you look how he's built, he don't look like a guy that can healthily make 157. And you know, I'm not here to accuse nobody, but, you know, Conor Benn is a young star in British boxing. Eddie Hearn's pumping a lot of millions and millions of dollars into him. So obviously he's gonna want Conor Benn to win fights like this, because a fight like this would drastically boost his name, his value in the sport, his profile in the UK, and even just in boxing in general. So obviously Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing, I think they picked that weight. They picked that weight and they said, okay, 157. You know, and Chris Eubank felt like he needed to take this fight because, you know, it's a money fight. It's not really the biggest fight in the USA, but in the UK, it's the biggest thing since sliced bread. It's a mega fight over there. And I didn't even realize how big it was until they really signed the fight, and you started seeing the promotion and the reactions from like a lot of the British boxing fans. But man, it really is a big fight. It's had that big fight feel since the fight got signed. So, you know, well, I get it. I get the seniors' concerns. But we'll see, man. We'll see on fight night. I'm really interested to see like if Eubank does make the weight healthy in a healthy manner, can Conor Benn still beat him? Because I really do think that's a lot of this fight is going to come down to that, you know. Because if Chris Eubank can't make the weight healthy, then I think that obviously is going to give Conor Benn an extra chance to win the fight. Because Conor Benn, we know what he's going to do. He's not going to go in there and box Eubank. He's going to go in there to come forward and try to hurt him and go for the knockout. And now we know that Eubank's a naturally bigger guy. We know that Eubank can punch at a higher weight class. We've seen what he's did in knocking out super middleweights and 160 pounders. So a guy like Ben, who's been at 47, who's been dropped by, you know, lower level fighters at 147, albeit at an earlier stage of his career, we know that he can get hurt. So to me, this is one of them fights where more than others, it's gonna be won and lost on the scales. But yeah, that's the news. I don't want to ramble too much longer, but Chris Eubank Sr. is asking the public to boycott the fight this weekend because he's concerned about his son's health. So, you know, make of that what you will. But leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.
Thank you for watching True School Sports.
No, follow this kid.
Oh.
You know, he's a true, he's a young, true, passionate person who follows boxing. He wakes up thinking about boxing and he goes to sleep thinking about boxing.
This is true. This is
good kid, good man, and looking forward to seeing him everywhere in the boxing world.
Hey man, if you ain't subscribed to True School Sports, you fucking up, man. Make sure you subscribe, bro.
Fucking up big time.
Make sure, man.